If you grew up in Serbia in the early 2000s, you probably know this sound.
Stane!
Molim,
Opalim te golim!
jel tako?
Tako!
Dobro, baš odličan.
Majmune!
Od tebe majmun gori nema.
And with that little soundbite, an entire meme of a generation was born. So come with me on an amazing journey where we dive deep into the lore of a YouTube series that defined a generation in Serbia.
Majmune!
With the fall of Yugoslavia, much of the ex-republics were left in a desolate and war-exhausted state. In particular, the newly created post-war Republic of Serbia was one of the most severely affected, as a wave of organized crime, political assassinations, and economic privatization ravaged the country. Yet, not all was completely dark. At this time, several cassette tapes started circling the country of some anonymous character prank-calling a senior citizen by the name of Stojan. Shortly after their publishing, they made their way onto early internet forums and YouTube, from where they became a cult classic almost every Serbian kid would quote during recess.
Alo,
Alo, Stane!
molim.
Majmune!
Izeš mi kurac! Izeš mi kurac! Ovaj ova muda kilava!
Majmune!
Jebem ti majku i dete žensko!
Majmune!
The creator of these tapes would remain anonymous up until 20 years later, when the Serbian branch of Vice Media was able to track down the creator and conduct an interview, all from one email address he left on a forum 20 years ago, balkanboy011@gmail.com. This is the story of Balkan Boy and Stojan. Today, if you ask anyone from Serbia about Stojan telefonske zajebancije, you're likely to open up a portal to the land of nostalgia and start a conversation filled with laughter and reminiscence. Yet, the story of this legendary battle between Stojan and some guy started much like any other legendary story, with a group of friends and a couple of beers. Balkan Boy was out hanging out with a couple of friends where they were listening to a cassette tape from a different prank call cult classic at the time, Stole Vole.
Molim, jebem li ti familiju u pičku, znaš? Jebote Gojko i Vojko i jebem ti familiju.
The cassette was a compilation of some guy calling several different individuals whilst making pig grunts and other animal noises.
Jesmo ti dužni, pitam te? Mamu ti jebem. Ne vidiš koliko si glup? Mnogo si grdan glup.
And them subsequently saying some of the most horrendous curses known to the Serbian language.
Pa to si ti normalno mene neki kad ti čuo dete u pičku. Pa kaži mi se koji si da te zakoljem ti vrapce, da te sa zubi zakoljem.
Crying from laughter, one of the guys in the group got an idea to look up one of the guys in the compilation who gave quite the bombastic response. Stojan.
Jebem ti kliču i sarni, parni, svak ti jebem u pičku. I da se maleš jebem ti familiju. Kaži mi se koji si da te ubijem slatko jebem ti, decu ti jebem.
After browsing the yellow pages and calling 10 to 15 guys with the same name and area code as the original Stojan had in Stole Vole, they finally found him and decided to give an homage to the original tapes by also grunting like pigs into the mic.
Alo?
Alo? Što bre ne spavaš, budalo jedna, imaš li dušu, ili imaš ti srce?
To which, to everyone's joy and lack of surprise, Stojan went off, insulting their mothers,
Jebem li ti mamu?
their bloodline,
Jebem ti decu i ženu i sestru i sve ti živo jebem da Bog da ti se kuću palila i deca ti bila slepa i čorava.
their seed.
Da Bog da ti sve pusto bilo od mene.
Nothing was off limits. They had struck gold. Since then, Balkan Boy ventured out on a journey to call Stojan regularly for the next 5 years. Not much is known about Balkan Boy other than the fact that he was born sometime in the 70s. By 2003, he was long within the labor force. As such, he developed a routine. Every morning, he would commute to the office, make himself a cup of coffee, light up a cigarette, and call Stojan.
Majmune.
Nema toga, ništa bre, ja sad jebam parođe, ti si nula. Ti si pičkin din.
Majmune.
Ti kurčeva prašina.
A lot of Balkan Boy's prank calls were essentially him calling Stojan, making animal noises,
Lanđo, majke ti ga nabijemo šljive.
calling him a monkey,
Majmune.
Od tebe majmun gori nema.
Majmune.
Izeš mi kurac, izeš mi pičku.
or saying some vulgarity Serbian middle schoolers told each other during recess.
Stane,
Molim,
opalim te golim.
And each time, Stojan would just go absolutely ballistic.
ti si gotov, ti si gotov. Da od tebe nema ništa, samo može da glođu psi po ulicama.
As he'd do his morning routine, Balkan Boy would record these calls via cassette recorder and then take them home where he would listen to them with his friends while they'd laugh their asses off. And one day he met an acquaintance that ran some niche prank call website where many other pranksters put up their calls for the world to listen to and enjoy. Balkan Boy gave him the tapes and he put their contents up on the internet, and from that point, history was made. The recordings of Balkan Boy and Stojan spread like wildfire, infecting every niche internet forum on the Serbian internet, and eventually making their way to the just recently founded video sharing platform, YouTube. But with this day and age, accessing YouTube from anywhere isn't as easy as before, and that's why you should use Atlas VPN, baby! Let's be frank, you like internet safety, I like internet safety, and Atlas especially likes internet safety. And that's why you're here, to help protect you while you browse man-made horrors beyond human comprehension. And lucky for you, Atlas is running a big deal where you can get Atlas Premium for $183 a month plus 3 months extra. Along keeping your browsing data safe, Atlas also prevents ads and malware from touching your computer. Online shops also love charging you extra depending on your purchasing location. Thereby, having a VPN while shopping online is crucial. On top of that, you can also access different TV shows and movies geo-locked from your home country. And the best part about it is, it's on unlimited devices, so with one subscription you can have your entire household covered. So again, go and click the link in the description and get Atlas Premium for just $183 a month plus 3 months for free. And if you dislike the service, no problem. You have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So go and check it out. By supporting Atlas, you support me. Again, go to atlasv.pn/Europe and protect yourself. From that point on, Balkan Boy became sort of an urban legend celebrity. No one knew his identity, but everyone enjoyed his work. And many started to wonder who was the guy behind the phone. Many rumors started to spread claiming that Balkan Boy was some student, nut job, or even a military personnel, which is why no one could trace back his number. Some even gossiped that Balkan Boy actually ended up in jail because of these calls. And upon arriving to jail, he was granted one free phone call, with which he used to call Stojan.
Alo. Dobra, stvarno mogu dobiti.
Stojan, evo ga ovde.
Da čestitam Bajram, Mustafa.
Kako?
Tako?
Nevertheless, over the next 5 years from 2003 to 2008, Stojan, alongside becoming an early internet celebrity in a developing Eastern European country, also became a local celebrity within his village of Kupci, near the Serbian town of Kruševac, where much of his neighbors became familiar with his situation of some guy calling him every morning and asking him if he washes his cat.
Stojane,
Molim, Miki,
jel sapunjaš mačora?
sapunjam.
I kako ide?
Odlično, ne može da bude bolje.
Jel?
Although many would claim that Balkan Boy was inherently harassing an old man, Stojan would pick up the phone every single day and spend innocuous amounts of time cursing him out. Despite the length of these phone calls spanning a time period of 5 years, Balkan Boy wasn't calling Stojan daily, but rather in periods of time. Mostly he would call him during the winter time when Stojan was inside the house. As he was a farmer working on the fields, during the winter Stojan was stuck inside with not a whole lot to do. Thus, in an interview with Vice, Balkan Boy claims that these calls and vulgarities were a way Stojan would pass the time, and he believes that with this, the two garnered some sort of fondness and bond. because of which Balkan Boy would send Stojan books and postcards he would get abroad during his business trips. One thing to note is that Stojan was practically technologically illiterate. At the time, most of the landline phones worked via the use of analog switchboards. When an analog phone is picked up, the line stays open the entire time unless you press the button to hang up. More often than not, after Stojan and Balkan Boy would have their morning session, Stojan would just put the phone down on the table and not hang up off the line, which allowed Balkan Boy to listen in on Stojan's conversation with his wife. After their initial call, he would then spend 10 to 15 minutes each day listening to what was going on in Stojan's house. He once heard that Stojan's door was creaking. Thus, the next time he called him, he told Stojan to oil up his door, which prompted Stojan to think it was someone from his village that was pulling this prank. Yet, arguably the best interaction between the two was when Stojan once again forgot to hang up. After their morning spat, Stojan again laid down the phone on the table, not closing the line. Balkan Boy thought it was just another day and continued listening on Stojan. Until Stojan started coming near the phone and started dialing a number. As he dialed, Balkan Boy answered and started to play the role.
Dobar dan.
Dobar dan.
Jel to pošta?
Da.
Ko se javlja?
Radović.
Trying his best not to break character and waste this golden opportunity. Stojan was calling the local post office, and upon getting through the line, he started to complain how some idiot keeps calling him.
Ja imam problem sa nekom budalom 3 godine što me stalno provocira na telefon. I sad pre 5 minuta isti taj me pitao da li sam dobio pošiljku neku knjigu i koju knjigu.
Balkan Boy was listening whilst pretending to be the postal worker for 10 minutes until finally.
Nego znate šta sam htio da vam kažem?
Recite.
Jel sapunjate mačora?
Molim?
Jel sapunjaš mačora, Stojane?
Kako govoriš bre?
Kažem, jel sapunjaš mačora, majmune? Majmune.
After that call, Balkan Boy felt he had no more reason to call him, as nothing would ever top that moment of absolute shock on Stojan's end. After some time had passed, these prank calls became too popular for their own good, and much in the same way Balkan Boy found Stojan's number, other would-be pranksters found it as well and leaked it onto the internet. Suddenly, Stojan started getting harassed 24/7 with prank calls that bordered more harassment than pranks. Soon after that, Stojan shut off his phone for good, and that was that. During these 5 years of shenanigans, people eventually got to know the identity of Stojan, as one worker from the phone company SBB, upon being called to his house to fix the phone, recognized the old man by his voice and sneaked in a picture and uploaded it to the internet. Then, in 2014, Serbia once more got in contact with Stojan, this time with the news of his passing. The man who made every Serb's childhood that much funnier had died at the age of 87. Although Stojan and Balkan Boy's duel might be seen by many as cruel, the interactions between the two went down in one nation's history as something truly bizarre yet hilarious, especially during the time when virtually everyone needed a good laugh. And although at first glance Stojan showed exuberant hostility to his prankster, he still willingly spent hours on the phone with him every winter, even though at any point he could have put down the phone and disconnected it, which he eventually did after his number got leaked. The man behind the calls also never revealed his identity, nor did he ever try and get famous off his victim. He was just doing what he thought would make his friends and himself laugh. Their legendary phone duels made a generation better, especially when times were uncertain. So on behalf of my entire generation, I wish to say, večna ti slava bila Stojane, počivaj u miru legendo. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, click that share and subscribe button. And if you really did, become a member like these wonderful people. And also, don't forget to check out theironicshop.com, where you can support my work. Any purchase means a lot. My name is Janos, and you've watched Living Ironically in Europe.
Hey, why